See where you were when before and now where you are now that we go live, because you always swap places. But I'm always on this side, so I think that's because I'm the host, so I'm always on the. Anyway,
that makes sense.
Hello and welcome to Sidetrack.
Good morning.
How are you, Stormy? How are you, Harris? How you diddling?
Doing well. Doing well
as well. Can't complain.
I apologise that we're a little bit early. You guys have had to get up, have your breakfast, and immediately get straight into this. But England, my ladies are playing. I've got some. Oh, that's not on my shirt. My ladies are playing at in an hour, and can't wait to watch it. So come on, Andrew's actually joined us, and he's in Oz. So he has been thanking me most of the day for us doing a little bit early, so we can actually. I'm not going to have to get up at 4 a.m. to watch us live, which he's done before now. Crazy. I mean, we're good, Andrew. We're not that good. It's like I wouldn't. But thank you so much. Yeah, and he's been a really good supporter of the channel for ages and ages. So we are going to have a little bit of a chat about good acting, and then we might throw in some dodgy acting in Star Trek and Star Wars and whatever else. Anybody, you guys, you want to throw in? It's 1 a.m. There you go, man. You stick with us the whole show then. No bother. Your wife can't take you this time. It's only like 4 a.m. He's just like, please stop talking. I want to go to bed. So we're going to talk about some crap acting. This came about, weirdly, Stormy. You mentioned this. You said, should we do this video about good acting in Star Trek? And I said, well, Harris doesn't know anything about Star Trek, so we'll have to mention Star Wars a bit at least. It was like, fine. But you then mentioned an actor from Star Trek. Can you remember who you mentioned in your message?
DeForest Kelley in the original series.
DeForest Kelley from the original series. Which was weird, right? Because I had just watched 2 or 3 days before The Undiscovered Country, which I tell everybody repeatedly that it's my favorite original series, Star Trek, because I stuck out of school to go watch it when I was a kid. So I like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm like hiding from school and like watching it on my own. I'm like, and I was like 13. But there's a scene in it though when after the Chancellor's dead and Kirk and Bones are in the court, and Worf's grandson or whatever is like being the worst lawyer on the planet. But he says to him, you through age or whatever, you were incompetent and you let him die. And DeForest Kelley just does this bit. He goes, I was desperate to save him. All I wanted was save him. He was the last best hope for peace. And that bit in that movie just went. And I genuinely remember leaning back going, shit, man, he can act.
Yeah. God
damn, he's a good actor. And then he was stood next to William Shatner. I was like, God damn, he can't act. It's a little bit different.
I mean, there's, Kelly he didn't get a lot of really big monologues throughout the series or the films, but when he did, it was he really shone. I mean, he was, you couldn't help watch him in the scene. He stole every scene. He had some really decent dialogue in. There was one. It was in one of the movies. Which one was it? It was In Search of Spock, I believe it was. Yeah. Everyone's going up to Kirk's condo in San Francisco, and DeForest Kelley brings his present, and he's bringing some scotch, and he just casually walks across the room with a drink in his hand, talking about goddamn, we're not celebrating your death here. He has this monologue. And it's really short, but the quality, the way he delivered it, and the way he just, kind of got into himself as a character as he walked across the room with the anxious. If you could ever hold a glass anxiously, he grabbed the glass anxiously and delivered that line. And it's just those little snippets, that he. I think. What do you think, Harris? Am I just all full of bullshit or what this morning?
Well,
It's very
I'm
early.
not as well versed in the Star Trek, but if you can grab a drink anxiously and depict that, you're acting well. I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that, I'm sure. So you can kind of add a little physicality to it, but not too much because overdoing it is very easy trying to be anxious. And if you can
Yeah.
hold it back, yeah, like just dropping things at that point. But if you can hold that back, you're a good actor. That's 100% right. True.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The bit I like is it's the worst Star Trek movie when they wandered off to find God. God damn it, Jimmy! Don't ask God for his driving license. That was good, but the actual bit early when they meet Sarek for the first time, it's Sarek, isn't it? Spock's brother. And they Sarek. It's Sarek the dad. Sarek's the dad, isn't it? God, I'm mixing them up.
I was getting ready. I thought you was going to say Sarah on there for a minute, and I said, "Hey, buddy,
Sauron." It's Sauron. But they do this bit when they meet Cybok for the first time. Who sounds like he should be in Battlestar Galactica to me, but anyway. And he uses his powers to sort of like bring memories from their past in that bit of the movie, and Leonard Nimoy does a bit, and Bill Shatner does. But watch that scene. Don't watch the rest of the film because the rest of the film is bloody awful. But watch that scene for DeForest Kelley. There should be awards. It's just because the rest of the movie is so bad, people forget really. But that is a powerful scene. The whole bit around the campfire at the start's good as well. But anyway,
yeah.
So we thought we'd have a chat about who are the what of acting in Star Trek, Star Wars, any other sci-fi guys you want to get into the comments and tell us about, or you guys think of, or when is like an actor really blowing you away? And I've done myself a little bit of a list, but also when of actors maybe not so good, because I think we mentioned Harris earlier. I mentioned Bill Shatner.
Some of our favorites, Bill Shatner and Mark Hamill.
Yeah, well, both these actors are questionable at times for their ability to act. William Shatner is actually capable of doing some really good stuff. But maybe that's that thing like you mentioned, Harris, about how if you can do some anxiously, but if you slightly overdo it, it ruins it. And I'm thinking about like that Twilight Zone movie episode, when Will Shatner's in there and the things on the plane.
The on the wing. Yeah.
Bits of that, he's fantastic. But then in a moment, he'll just ever so slightly overdo it. And you're just like, oh, no, there's William Shatner. There he is. I forgot.
Sometimes I wonder if Shatner is really a good actor, but I think, at least in Trek, he was just really stylized. He had a way of speaking, and it's not really maybe over. It's just that was his style. I mean, it's his style. It's a style of acting. And, it's like every sentence has an exclamation point. And it's, you know what I mean, Harris? I mean, he was just like, because he's completely different in all, like the Westerns he was in, and like you said, Twilight Zone.
You can kind of like
Boston Legal. Boston Legal is one of my favorite shows. Him and James Spader. I love that show. And William Shatner was great in it. Played a nutter. Sorry,
you can do great things. No. You can do great things if you can find that character, and I guess you can lose the character as well, going into trying to be too human and overdoing an emotion, I guess, on camera. It's like don't try to look too human. Just be human and do your thing. I think you can generally do well, but sometimes within that style you can lose or gain traction, and it happens heavily on both sides sometimes.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has the emotional range of a peanut. John Cena is really bad as well. I love him, and I think I'm going to say, what is the difference? I'll ask you guys, what is the difference between a likable actor and a good actor? Or is there a difference? Because I would say John Cena, The Rock, they're likable actors. They're actually good at their craft.
Okay, so I gotta. Where's my IMDb tab? There's one actor, great actor, hated him. And I was thinking about this the other day. I mean, it was what was that little guy's name? No. Michael Emerson, who played the character Ben Linus on Lost. The little guy, he was like the head of the others. Lost, does take you away back to 2006, I admit, but he was so good. I mean, he is a great actor.
Oh, yes, I do know.
Oh my God. Did you just want to shoot him in the head with a gun? I mean, because he was so manipulative and evil and self-centered and obnoxious as he portrayed his character. He was just, you just wanted to burn his house down. But so, I mean, he's a good actor, but my God, did you hate him?
Hey, he's really good if you want to commit arson for him. I mean, that means he's done his job well. He's done it right.
I think some of the great actors, though, you can have characters where you just hate them. Because Gary Oldman is one of the greatest actors of our generation. Yeah. But in virtually every part he's ever in, I detest him. But because you're supposed to. I was thinking about this with Kenneth Branagh. He's one of my favorite actors of this. I think he's one of the greatest actors that's ever lived. But he did this movie with he played a Nazi, and he was so detestable. He was so unpleasant all the way through it, and it makes you want to scratch sort of things. Sort of like, God, he's just, how can a human being like this exist? You know what I mean? But Kenneth Branagh absolutely freaking nailed it. He was terrifying with that role. The Final Solution, I think it was called.
Yeah, that was it. Final Solution. They were all trying to figure out what to do with the Jews, and he was God. He was just flat out evil, and he was in such a dangerous, sugary mixture of kind to everybody else, unless you got on his bad side, and then the daggers came out, and because no one could constrain him except the Fuhrer, he was just, he made me nervous watching him. I mean,
you're talking about an actor getting an emotional response out of it. Kenneth Branagh can do, but then you see Kenneth Branagh in Harry Potter.
Yeah, whole different animal.
Even though he was a bad guy in that, he's just I love Kenneth Branagh. I just think he's just the greatest actor.
He's awesome.
Yeah, but in Final Solution, he was not a bumbling villain.
No.
Not really.
Yeah.
No, he was like a razor blade.
Yeah.
Have you seen Murder on the Orient Express or Death on the Nile?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, Peter Ustinov is Poirot, even though he's the least like Poirot from the books. Peter Ustinov is Poirot for me, but when I heard Kenneth Branagh was doing it,
I love his portrayal. The movies aren't necessarily the best in the freaking world, but I can watch them all day just because Branagh is in there, and he has a good cast with him all the time.
And that mustache, it is magnificent, and the whole thing with the eggs, and I just love it. The little things they brought from the book that they've never had in the movies before, and again, a thoroughly dislikable character, but it's Kenneth Branagh, so
yeah,
what are you going to do?
Plays it so well.
How about just like likable actors? Then, do you have like likable actors that you think that it doesn't matter that they're just playing themselves a lot of the time, that they're just reading the lines, and does it matter?
I honestly say that depends on the actor, because you do have your Rocks and you have your John Cenas, but then you also have your Mark Wahlbergs who play themselves typically all the time, but he's also, I believe, Oscar nominated because you just give him the right role and he can run with it. Mark Wahlberg in The Departed still is one of my favorite things I've ever seen, honestly.
Yeah.
And a few other things as well. But yeah, that kind of it's almost like Uncanny Valley with CGI, but with acting ability sometimes.
Right.
Is where I guess that likability can really change. And it does depend on the material they're working with all the time. Like Shatner can be great and he can be not so great. Mark Hamill can be the Joker and be doing the best voices ever. And he can also be delivering a great cheesy Star Wars line that might not be the best, but we'll remember for a long time, you know?
By the way, the film we were talking about, Branagh, in the United States, it was called Conspiracy. So if you're wanting to see it, I think it's streaming off of HBO, and it's Conspiracy with Branagh and Stanley Tucci. So conspiracy.
Love Stanley Tucci as well.
Tucci's great.
And the British guy in it that's in it, whose name has gone out of my head. I can see his face. Oh no, he was in the
Well,
he's in the Kingsman film with where he's
Bald guy?
No. Oh, fine.
Not Mark Strong.
I like Kenneth in Valkyrie as well. He was fantastic in Valkyrie. Andrew's just mentioned.
And our Marvel buddy Tom Hiddleston was also the phone operator in Conspiracy.
No way. What? But cool. Okay. So you mentioned actors that play themselves. Is Jeff Goldblum a good actor, or is Jeff Goldblum just Jeff Goldblum?
So I would say no. Because so on Apple Plus, I know you haven't seen it. Jeff Goldblum has a show being Jeff Goldblum doing these documentaries, and Jeff Goldblum is so over the top Jeff Goldblum in his own show that it really does separate Jeff Goldblum from like the Jurassic Park Jeff Goldblum, or The Fly Jeff Goldblum,
or even Independence Day.
If you really want you some Jeff Goldblum in your life, Apple TV to get the.
It's on Disney in the UK.
Is it in Disney?
Yeah,
Okay,
I believe Disney Plus.
It's on Disney Plus. Yeah, Jeff Goldblum being Jeff Goldblum. Just picture of him in his glasses, just do sort of that in his glasses. But I've always thought, because he's a well respected actor. I mean, other actors say like that's how you do it, thing. And I've seen him in that he has ADHD, 100%. I've seen him in interviews, and he's mental. And he just tones it back. But I'd say I think he's a great actor, but I think he just plays Jeff Goldblum and everything.
Yeah.
But talk about Star Trek though. Then, so we got Forrest Kelly, who we thought is a great actor. We got William Shatner, who we thought. Nah. How about Leonard Nimoy? Because I mean, there are scenes as Spock that obviously he's a very withdrawn character, but when he goes crazy, he goes properly crazy. But particularly in the movies, he did some pretty impressive emotional scenes. He was. I always had a lot of respect for Leonard Nimoy just as a filmmaker. He also made the best Star Trek movies. When he was involved in the actual production, they were good.
When he didn't have Roddenberry yelling at him, I mean, he did a much better job as Spock.
Yeah.
And what I know of Leonard Nimoy, I love everything I've ever seen him in. I can't complain.
Yeah, if he hasn't got pointy ears and shaved his eyebrows, it's just creeped me out. I've seen him in a few westerns and things.
That's what I know.
In a few westerns, fantastic as well. That's where a lot of these actors came from, don't they? But if we get into the TV series, the more modern TV series, then, because I mean, that was one of the things when TNG, The Next Generation, came out. Was just like people were like, "Who's this British guy pretending to be French?" He's like stage actor, rubbish. And Gene Roddenberry really went. He said, "No, Patrick Stewart is the man. He's got to be the captain. He's going to be." And obviously, we've seen his acting ability. No one's going to question Patrick Stewart isn't a good actor.
Sir
but
Pat
is that
Stew.
important? Oh, sorry, go on.
I said Sir Pat Stew.
Sir Paddy. Does a series, particularly something that like Star Wars, Star Trek, because I mean, we talk about the Mandalorian, things like that as well. Some of the acting in some of the Star Wars series. Is it really important that you need one or two really good actors to sort of hang your hat on for a series like that to carry?
You have to.
Yeah.
But so like
you gotta have you gotta have somebody to carry the show. I mean, for whatever reason, Netflix has a lot of shows and movies from the foreign films where no one is carrying the show. I mean, it is just, the neighbor's dog has more personality than the lead character. And I never get past episode 1 or the first 10 minutes of the movie. So this is you have to have an actor that can emotionally engage the audience and keep them nailed in their seat. And it's like I can't remember her name, but the first Captain Janeway that they hired for Voyager was just kind of phoning it in, just kind of reading lines, really could not engage. And so they shot 1 or 2 episodes with her, then had to reshoot.
Yeah. They shot for about 3 weeks with her.
Was it 3 weeks? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how far well they got with the episodes, but yeah, she was there 3 weeks, and then she's that's a similar story to Michael J. Fox, isn't it? With Back to the Future, that they've sort of said there was nothing wrong with the actor that they initially had for Back to the Future. He was a great actor, ginger fellow whose name's gone out of my head. There's nothing wrong with it, and they said the same for Voyager, didn't they? There's nothing wrong with this. It's just not. It's just not.
Yeah.
I couldn't quite put the thing. And Kate Mulgrew came in and smashed it out of the park again. Came straight from stage. She was a stage actress.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that type of, if you don't have like the big name actor or something that has all that experience to help ground everything, stage actors can be that kind of grounding kind of piece.
Mulgrew and Stewart, man. I mean, they definitely brought it. If you've ever watched Mulgrew in Orange is the New Black, her portrayal of the Russian mob wife. It's just she has some comedy chops there, but also a lot of sympathy there. Great portrayal.
Yeah, great actress. But then I think from like the next generation, you've got somebody like Brent Spiner, who, don't get me wrong, he can act, but that's not his background. He came from sort of like stage, but he was a performer. He's a dancer and a singer, and he did all this sort of thing. You need that ensemble, though, don't you? You need that thing. I would argue at times Brent Spiner is not the greatest actor in the world. All the emotional stuff with Data was not always great,
right.
but he was so likable, and so we all loved him. But he had other talents. Then you got somebody like Jonathan Frakes, and I'm sorry, he couldn't act for toffee. But he fit his role.
It's like, I don't know if you guys remember, but Spiner is like during the last couple seasons of Next Gen, or maybe after, he had these old he had an album, he had a musical album out, and I think the title was Old Yellow Eyes or Old Gold Eyes, and it was really cool, kind of 50s Vegas swing. It's really fucking good. And he played a lounge singer in Patrick Stewart's comedy. I think it ran 1 season or 2 seasons. Blunt. Yeah. It was on Stars, I think it was. And he just played this toss off role, just as a lounge singer with a piano. Oh my God, he was great in that. He just and sometimes, and I think, talking about the ensemble thing and Data being kind of, thrusters on, Captain, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you have really good actors, and then you have some sort of acting god like Stewart, everybody else seems really kind of mellow and just phoning it in. Because then the baseline becomes the whoever the big star, the big talent. And everyone else is kind of reduced because you're looking at their differences, and it's like, they all may be shining, but the big ass bright dude in the middle telling you to engage is overshining everybody else. The other talents don't show through based on their merit.
Do you think that's because they're really the only character that's truly fleshed out, where everybody else is? They're fleshing them out over time, but they kind of come in as more of a caricature of a character and kind of work their way into actually almost becoming human, where like really the first bits of most seasons of things are focusing and like delving in on a particular person or things like that.
Yeah,
I would agree with that, because if you listen to their commentaries, and the other actors' commentaries, and say, well, I had to write out what my character was, he did this, he was in that, he liked it, whatever, and you don't hear that from Stewart, who had everything already planned.
Given. Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it was, they knew who Stewart was, and they knew who, I think they had more developmental material on cue than they did any other cast member besides Stewart.
And he ends up a little more
thought, right? I have to understand who this person is, sort of thing, to be able to do it, sort of thing. Yeah. No, I 100% get that. Do you sometimes get like when acting is so bad though, but it doesn't matter if the project is. I'm for Starship Troopers. Right?
I was thinking
movie I
Starship Troopers, but okay, Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers is some of the worst acting. I mean, I'm honestly, Casper Van Dien is such a bad actor. There's no shock that he's had very little career since. But he's so bad. I mean, literally. I mean, you'd want to poke your eyes out rather than watch him in actually anything serious. But it didn't matter because the film was ridiculous, and the money was spent on the effects rather than the actors. They literally hired a bunch of actors that would. Are you available? Fine, come on then.
And everybody else was kind of mediocre, but Michael Ironside, he started out as the school teacher, the veteran, and then ending up, running the Roughnecks. And it was, he really, I mean, I think he took the job seriously, and he really delivered his lines. I mean, he was the compelling character, I think.
And he was the only name, wasn't he? He was almost like the guy they actually spent the money on, sort of thing. Like, we will actually pay for him because he has got an important role. You have to care when he dies as well, which is important. Let's be honest. If Rico had died in Starship Troopers, you'd have been grateful. It would have been
thank God.
Stop talking. But when he dies, it's Ironside dies. It's like we actually shit. It's like we actually cared. So yeah, that makes sense. And getting people to actually care about a character is insanely hard.
Yes,
to get that emotional connection, you've got to be able to act. And
so, can I ask a question? That made me think real quick. While we're talking about ensembles and like the good actors and bad actors and likable actors and these things, what about the Mandalorian, particularly season 1? Because they do have some larger named actors to kind of ground their work, like Nick Nolte. I have spoken, and Carl Weathers is Grief Karga, of course.
Yeah.
And I personally like her, but we don't need to delve too far into her. But Gina Carano is not the best actress in the world, and then Pedro Pascal is also not in the show for the most part. Most of the time, that brings us back to like physicality as an actor as well, because that's John Wayne's grandson that I believe is in the suit. And that makes sense that, okay, John Wayne's grandson knows physicality. That's kind of half of what they do. But it's just an interesting kind of that almost, we didn't get that entire character. We have to learn about each character along the way.
Yeah.
Which I think helps that series a lot.
And somehow they keep us, even though we don't have that big shining supernova of an actor to begin with, the guy that's actually doing the suit, even though Pascal's doing the voiceovers through it, we're watching it through the physicality, and how like the emotion that the suit driver, for lack of a better term, is actually connecting with the audience. Yeah, Pascal's voice is there, sure.
I thought it was Pascal in the suit for most of it. I thought Jon Favreau insisted that it had to be him in the suit.
No,
it's not him.
They said it was for the first 2 seasons, it was less than like 10% of footage. Yeah. And for filming the 3rd season, he had no principal photography at all.
Wow. Okay.
So who knows if he's even going to take his helmet off this season? But he's also filming The Last of Us and all that, so he's busy.
He's a busy boy.
I guess.
Yeah.
But as long as we have John Wayne's grandson bringing that's why it feels so well like Western and stuff. It's because he's walking, and it's John Wayne's grandson. You're in a Western the second he enters the screen. It's great.
Yeah.
It's space Western.
That's subtle. That's subtlety. Timothy Olyphant in season 2 for me is ultimate. As Book of Boba Fett, wasn't it? Sorry, but he's just he plays a cool cowboy.
So Barry Lowen, John Wayne's grandson. Barry Lowen is his name.
Oh, okay.
Barry Lowen.
Oh, cool. I actually I know people dislike Cara Dune, Gina's character, and she's not going to be appearing in but I liked her and everything she's done. And because she comes at it no, she's not the greatest actress in the world, but she comes at it with a physical. I think it's a shame when they don't use her, to be honest, and what she's good at. She get her to punch someone.
Yeah,
that's what she's there for. It doesn't matter if she can't act. We've got other people to act.
I think she just punched herself in the face too many times. On Twitter and Instagram. It wasn't just one instance that got her fired. It was, first, she was a Trumpster and just making all sorts of unsubstantiated claims. Then she went the whole unvaccinated route. All vaccines are bullshit. It's 5G. She's spewing all this shit on Twitter, right? And Disney kept, said, look, you are representing the show. You're representing, Star Wars. You're representing Disney. You've got to cut this shit out, and they've talked to her publicist. And then she went, all Holocaust deniers and said that, it wasn't the Nazis that was beating up the Jews. It was children. And at that point, Disney had enough. It was,
When she say that? She just compared Republicans' plight to the Jews' plight.
Oh, she did that too. It was a long laundry list. But once she got to the Nazis never beat up the Jews, it was children. That is when Disney threw up their hands and said, "Fuck you! You're no longer in the series. Goodbye."
We need to check your mental
health. It wasn't just one instance. It was a long, tumultuous relationship between Disney, her PR people trying to sit on her and get her to, stop being such an asshat. And at some point in time, Disney just the whole Holocaust denial, which everyone's sensitive to, except I think her.
I don't remember seeing anything about the denial, but yeah.
I've actually got a clip of it before she deleted it someplace. It was included a picture. I saw it on Instagram. I said, "Oh, this is not going to go good for her," so I Snapchat.
No.
It does keep the wife happy. Thank you, Shannon. I just think anybody that just says, comparing anything to the plight of the Jews, you're immediately in a troubled area. Personally, it's like things like Sierra Leone and other places all over the world has some horrific moments. Those people can go, well, this is a bit like what the Jews went through. Nobody else can.
Yeah.
If you've, unless half of your family has been slaughtered in some sort of, you have no right to even put the words in your mouth, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, move on. Let's keep it light, shall we, people?
Yeah. Who's your next good or bad actor?
Let's talk about conspiracy.
Let's not talk about conspiracy theories. Right. So, in Star Wars,
okay,
Liam Neeson. Right. So, when Liam Neeson did Taken movie, do you know why I was so excited about it? I was just like, damn, it's an action movie with somebody that can actually act. It'll be awesome, and it was awesome. I mean, he went on to become an action star. So I'm not sure quite that happened, but it was awesome. Liam Neeson is a great actor. He's crap in the first Star Wars movies. I thought he was terrible.
I have rewatched it recently, and I am biased. I'm pretty fond of it, of course, but he does. Him and Ewan McGregor are by far the best parts of the whole film. And of course, you have the two of them on a screen that probably going to be the best parts of the film. And even though it's pretty wooden dialogue and things like that, he does really well with everything he does portray. I think generally, it's what he's got.
I saw a meme with that not long ago, and it said it had a shot of like Annie coming out of the ship after blowing it up and killing tens of thousands of people and going woohoo! And it's just,
yippee!
I want to use the bad guy. It's just like,
I committed mass homicide. Yay me! Woo!
First of many.
Tens of thousands.
First of many. Plus, he had R2-D2 with him for the first time there, who also goes on to commit many mass murders.
Yeah.
So, those are the two most. Those Star Wars characters are the two that have killed more than anybody else. Besides
R2, murder in a can. That's all R2 is.
Chopper's the only other droid that's killed more.
We'll do a Star Wars video next week if we do a video on the Sunday, because we
If
are
they
doing
let
a
us
video on
back
Saturday
in.
as well. I wouldn't mind doing a Star Wars video because those first three, they were the three chronologically, the first three. Why on earth did they bring R2D2 and C3PO into those films? I think that could be a long conversation. What the were they thinking? It just made it complicated stuff, surely.
That's just got to be because George Lucas loved Kenny Baker and oh my God, C3PO.
Anthony. His first name's Anthony. Go on,
Anthony.
Anthony Panthony. Anthony.
I know it. It's just a brain fart. Come on.
Oh, I love it when people say brain fart.
I have them every day. Talk about some ADD.
Yeah, I love a good brain fart.
Anthony Daniels. There we go. I can't look it up. I was hoping somebody's going to say it in the chat, but I beat him to it, thankfully. I've got my Star Wars cred. There we go. Thanks, Matt.
He's Googling like crazy today, and trust me, it's Matt Dean, and so he doesn't know these things. He did a quiz once for me, and he doesn't know anything. So, but he'll be Googling like mad, and you that Matt, admit it, Matt. He'll say yes in a minute.
I'm to be at the ready.
I tell you what, though, we know something about sci-fi and actors. My first thought was Avery Brooks, and DS9, but and you have to have an education in DS9. We appreciate that. He did Google. He's a liar. But Avery Brooks in the first couple of series I didn't particularly like him as an actor. I thought he didn't hold himself very well. It's like he didn't quite know who the character was, and it's only when Cisco started to get pissed off and the dark side started coming through that you realise just how good an actor Avery Brooks was.
Yeah,
and it's particularly in some. But as soon as he shaved his head, whew, he only shaved his head because he was appearing in a movie with as Hawk for. I've forgotten the characters. I've forgotten the show.
So
anyway.
DS9 had a really good ensemble cast. I mean, there's lots of characters. You think about who's best, and you're right. When Cisco in the later seasons, when tensions on the station got bigger, and he had to protect his son more, did he really shine? I always say that the Deep Space Nine was really not a Star Trek series. It was really his best show about a father and son relationship. I mean, by far. But there was so many actors there. I think somebody mentioned it over in chat a little bit. It was whoever played Gul Dukat.
Yes,
very good actor. The guy played Martok, great actor, and my favorite, the one I actually think stole everything, was the actor that played Garrick.
Yeah, I'm going to have a look at him just quickly because he deserves his name. Rennie Aubuchonus was a really good actor as well. Where is he? Andrew Robinson played Garrick. He played psychos in so many movies over the years. He was just mental. He has not passed away. He's still alive. He's 80. Did not know. That's where I know him from, though. It's Dirty Harry. He's the bad guy in Dirty Harry, which was just... He played an amazing psycho in that movie. He's just got one of those faces. It's a shame he's behind all the makeup, really, because he didn't realize who he was. But, no, he was a phenomenal actor.
The most versatile.
Andrew Robinson. I didn't say his name, sorry. Andrew Robinson.
Yeah, the most versatile in Deep Space Nine has to be Jeffrey Combs.
Yep.
Because, he played Brunt.
Characters.
Yeah. How many characters did he play? He played Brunt. He played Wayuns. He played all the Wayuns. He's also played Commander Shrek in Enterprise, but that was... Yep. And you don't really... He's so good at differentiating the different characters is they don't remind you of everything else he's done. Like when he does, Brunt is so different than Wei-Yun. You really, I mean, it was a while before I caught on that it was the same guy. Because
I love that with Star Trek. I know that they got an actor they like who just goes, well, with makeup, how many different parts can you play? All of them. Okay. Well, Jeffrey Combs may have ordered. I saw something. I think Jeffrey Combs played 9 characters in Star Trek, I want to say. I did this in a quiz question, so I should know, but I think it's 9. Yeah. But he appeared without makeup a couple of times. He appeared in the one where they were on the holodeck and they're in like the in the swinging 20s in the thing. He was one of like a waiter or something.
Well, he also played when Cisco was kind of had that orb experience. Kind of, he went back and he was a writer back in New York. Yes. He was trying to write the story DS9 or Deep Space Nine. That was the story he's trying to make at this publisher. The bad cop. Well, there's 2 bad cops. One was Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah, and also if you consider again, Harris, you know what we're talking about, but he played a character called Wei-Yun, who was actually a they used to genetically engineer them, so they were copies. So it says so the question of the quiz was, how many characters Jeffrey Wei-Yun play? Jeffrey Combs play, and I think the answer is 9, because or about 30 something if you include all the different Wei-Yuns that he played. Because they would die and there would just be a new Wei-Yun.
Oh, so those weren't even part of the 9.
No. It was just like if you necessarily say it's whether you say Wei-Yun is one character or not, or whether you include all the genetic copies that used to just come up. The what's the word I'm looking for when you genetically copy somebody?
Clone.
My brain. Clones. Thank you. Sometimes my brain. That's a brain fart.
Brain fart.
I need that thing to eat ice cream. Dig a spoon. Yeah, spoon. But yeah, it's like and Martok. Martok by JG thing. He played loads of different characters as well.
Yeah.
10 minutes for each question.
He was 10 minutes for each question. We'll have a quiz. But yeah, it's just there's some really really great acting in that. I like Nina Sirator as well. No, is that her name? Nina
Sirtis.
Visitor, sorry.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah.
And we've forgotten the greatest actor from the Star Trek The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, who's one of the finest actors ever to appear in any Star Trek, Cole Meany. Man, he is a great actor. Proper Irish fella, you'd never know it. Again, Harris, no fucking clue what we're talking about.
No, one of the best films the film I liked him the most in wasn't a Trek film is the title was something like I walked up a hill and came down a mountain. Yeah. I would say he was the bartender at the end, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought even though he didn't have a really pivotal, it was like
he's played gangsters in a couple of movies, and I tell you what, I know he's only an actor, but I wouldn't disagree with him.
I wouldn't disagree.
He comes over as terrifying. Yes, he was a great bad guy in Stargate Atlantis as well. He played the leader of a terror organization or something, I remember. But yeah, he was great in that.
I saw someone say that Ming-Na Wen is in Stargate universe.
Yes, she was, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Delve back into Stargate.
To be honest, mate. She was
a UN
She was civilian. Yeah,
really?
she's civilian, isn't it? And she just accidentally ended up going through the gate. But yeah, she didn't play a massive part in it. She kind of came in and out of it a little bit. We didn't realize how amazing she was really until she went into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I don't think. And that one was in
Mulan from back in the day with her voice.
IOA officer, that was right. Yeah, but she's great and everything. I love her so much. She was in 2.5 Men. And she played like she was supposed to be an older woman for Charlie then. She was supposed to be in her 40s, and that was like the big thing that she was an older woman. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, that was over 20 years ago now.
Yeah, and she's still playing in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She's playing people that are dating 30-year-olds.
Yeah, doing right. A Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I'd cut off my finger for anything she wanted.
I saw her at Comic-Con this past LA Comic-Con in December of 21. That was just fun. Her and Giancarlo Esposito, who is one of those great villainous people that we were kind of talking about earlier. good Lord, they're just as good off screen as they are on screen. They're just fun to watch. They're just fun to listen to too.
Gotta love a good book. Think about that from like sci-fi. One name jumps to mind immediately. An actor that's played just like an insane villain, and not just Star Trek, whatever, just anything off the top of your head. Because obviously you got like James Earl Jones' voice and things like that, but just a great villain from a sci-fi movie. The first thing that jumped into my head was Rutger Hauer in Blade Runner.
Yes,
I thought he was phenomenal.
Great one.
He was single-minded, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit.
Character, right?
Just a little bit. But yeah, he was terrifying in that film. But you guys, anything jump to mind with you? Anything great villainous bad guy?
Great villainous bad guy in sci-fi.
They
just named off all the ones I would really have gone to. So
look wise,
go first.
Darth Maul.
I'll sit here and think.
Darth Maul.
Just from look wise, and of course, I grew up with the animated Clone Wars TV series as well, and that's where talk about someone that comes back into an IP and just plays around a bunch. Sam Witwer. Do you recognize Sam Witwer? He did all the Force Unleashed and all that. He's Darth Maul in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, but he's 5 other characters throughout Star Wars as well. He's the voice of Emperor Palpatine a couple times as well. He's phenomenal, and I think he fleshed out Darth Maul into a fantastic villain.
Yeah. The old Yoshi Geek does point out that it's Baal for me. Baal from Stargate. He's a lovable rogue, and I give you that, but gotta love that actor. I have to Google his name in a second, but I just love it. But I'd still say if you don't have a good villain in a series, it's only ever going to be a good series. You can never be a great show if you don't have a great villain. I'm trying to think of any others now from like older movies, maybe where there's just been a great villain in a. I mean, like Terminator 2.
Yeah, that's
Robert
Patrick.
Yeah, great villain, brilliant actor. There's a reason why he's still around now.
He's the reason Runyon Canyon's so busy over here. You can't get a good hike in Hollywood anymore because he's the reason it got popular back in the day.
Damn it!
I know.
I see. You're gonna have to tell me if this is a proper villain that you're talking about that really kind of fits the mold. But the replicators in Stargate, I thought was maddening, terrifying. I mean, yeah, they're just robots, right? But I thought they do have the ability to drum up fear. You know.
I'm surprised being a Star Wars fan, though, Harris, all the way through. I mean, particularly if you remember the first 3, Christopher Lee.
Oh! Don't get me started. Count Dooku's my favorite Star Wars character. You don't even have to. There we go. I love anything Christopher Lee.
I didn't know Harris had a cattle prod.
And I'm gonna have to look up his name because it's going to annoy me because his name's very similar. He always played Christopher Lee always played Dracula, and this guy always played the hunter. Come on, where are you? Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing from the first one, and obviously they brought him back, CGI'd him for one of the new ones, didn't he? But
Rogue One.
Rogue One. We're talking about how you bring in good actors for a project. You know, I mean, dear God, if you got a project and you've got, Alec Guinness. Alec Guinness hated Star Wars. He thought it was stupid,
but he did so well.
But the genius was that, like the directors, the producers, everybody else, they knew, let's bring it in because he will be amazing, and let's give this project a bit of weight. And so that they can actually act.
And then to not just find a way to... I really like... I still need to watch Light and Magic that just came out, but I love that George Lucas didn't find another person to bring in for Empire Strikes Back and was like, all right, we'll bring Alec Guinness back as a ghost and then give us a creature to turn on to and get enriched by. And it worked. It worked way too well. We got Yoda. So thank you, Alec Guinness. Thank you, Frank Oz.
Yeah, just phenomenal acting. But then there's always that. Just like, how do you stand on? I've forgotten his name. He's not the most famous actor in Harrison Ford. Where do you stand on Harrison Ford? Great actor or likable actor that can act?
In the original trilogy, what did you say, Harry? Sorry,
I'm going fantastic. That's all. As Harrison Ford, I can sum it up there.
Okay, ditto. Yeah, I was going to say that of the original three, or episode 4, 5, and 6, I thought Harrison was probably the best actor in the lens, with the exception of Alec Guinness.
Agreed.
But concerning the whole original trilogy, it had to be Harrison Ford because, jeez, yeah. I mean, when like the little clips, like when he's first got on the Death Star and he's sitting, in the chair in that little room above the Millennium Falcon, and he's in the Stormtrooper's outfit, and he's just so emotive and disgusted and thinking that everyone's crazy. He doesn't have to say the words. You know what he's thinking. And I thought that was, he's the number one. I mean, just little scenes like that, just like the Force peppered his talent throughout.
I've always wondered if, without Harrison Ford, if the Star Wars movies would have had the success that they obviously the phenomenal, because I always thought the bit in when he then gets frozen in the thing, and that's a really weak bit of the movie, and you're just waiting for Harrison Ford to come back. I wasn't when I was a kid anyway. Harrison Ford was the reason why I like Star Wars, because it was just phenomenal, and I like the lightsabers and I like the ships and everything. But I mean, I think would it have been successful?
In the originals, concerning the cultural impact that Star Wars had on everybody back in '77, if there was another competent actor there, I think no one would have noticed because everything else was so over the top. And we were shocked by everything: the story, the special effects, the music. Mm-hmm. Even if they got somebody else that was competent as playing Solo, I don't think anybody would have noticed.
Yeah, as long as I could play like a good scoundrel. We just got something special with Harrison Ford playing Space Harrison Ford.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, he played the scoundrel brilliantly, didn't he?
How many people can play a nerf herder? I mean, God.
Scruffy looking nerf herder.
Scruffy looking nerf.
All of them could. And Gary Oldman is terrifying in The Fifth Element, Gary Oldman is terrifying in everything.
So going back to the villains, if I can't use the replicators, there's another Stargate villain, and he didn't have a lot of screen time, but he really just kind of creeped me out. And that was Julian Sands as the Docile.
Oh yes,
he was the makeup and just the big wall of flame behind me. He was just really creeped me out.
Yeah, no, I did. They had a lot of really good villains in Stargate, to be fair, and Star Trek over the years. They've had some great villains. I mean, we never mentioned Khan. Great villain. Weird fake chest thing. But just
Benedict Cumberbatch was your favorite Khan, right?
No,
I'll walk off now. I'm kidding.
No, I'll punch you in the nuts. I love Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm a Cumber bitch all day. I think he's a phenomenal actor. He's one of the great actors we've got of our generation right now. He was awful in that film, but I blame J.B. Abrams for it because I blame J.B. Abrams for most of the things that are wrong in my life. If I stub my toe on a rock, I'll go Abrams. I blame him for everything that's wrong in the world.
I mean, he could have had a company called Good Robot, but he
had to go with the bad robot.
Bad robot. Mm-hmm. He goes, and J.J. Abrams knows what he did. He knows why I hate him. So
Star Trek, Star Wars,
pretty much everything he's ever done.
Don't give him anything with Star.
Yeah.
The Star Trek movies, I've said this a million times. The J.J. Abrams movies, they're
Yorkshire Geek knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. They're entertaining movies. They're just not Star Trek. So just fucking leave it. Anyway,
I love
so
it.
we knocked that one out of the park, and we were talking about good actors, fun. What have you been watching this week? And thought you've got 5 minutes and 3 seconds.
Oh my gosh! So my Resident Evil, I'm still hanging there with Resident Evil.
Boring, don't like it. Move on.
Started to binge Umbrella Academy this week.
Ew.
The first episode dance off was still probably it was incredible. And that, and I've been for my what I call my fill-in binge, something you just I want to just put something on television. I'm rewatching Deep Space Nine again.
Good man. Harris, start watching Deep Space Nine.
I need to. I got to finish it. I'm still season 3. I haven't watched it in like 6 months, so don't kill me. But I need to finish season 3 of SG1. I'm literally 2 episodes after like when the bounty hunter comes in for the first time.
Right. I just watched the bounty hunter episode I just watched it.
I'm desperate to finish it. I don't know. It used to be like my lunch show, and now when I started doing like the play a few months ago, I just kind of got out of the habit of it, and I gotta get.
You're so lucky though, because you get to watch all these for the first time.
It makes me so happy. I'm slow about it because I tweet whenever I watch a new episode, just to kind of have like a catalog for myself, and it helps me know it really well.
It gets better.
I from episode 1, it's of course a little cheesy 90s things every now and then, but you can tell Brad Wright is putting stuff in place for future things, and that just makes me happy. I love the world of it.
Dang, baby. Yeah, he is. It's just you're so lucky though. I wish I was you, not just because you're good looking and got great hair, just because I wish I could delete Stargate from my brain and watch it again.
It's so much fun. That's how I figured out about your channel. I was like, all right, I need to learn more about this, and I love it.
You lucky bastard. What have you been watching this week then, other than Stargate?
I went and saw a question and answer with the writers for Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, which is a new indie film that officially came out this past week. It's been out for 2 weeks in LA and New York, and I should have seen it, but we eventually got to it. And that was the most like adorable, endearing kind of film. If you need to go see something with your wife, kids, bring them. It's perfect. It's just really it's stop motion, and it's about a shell that has kind of lost their family, and he's got to go seek them out. He watches 60 Minutes with his grandma, so he has to get 60 minutes to come in and help him. It's great. It's just one of those little things that makes your heart feel good. But besides that, I've been keeping up with What We Do in the Shadows, which I adore. That's such a great TV show. I don't know if y'all seen any of What We Do in the Shadows, but that gets you a little fun fantasy comedy going.
I'm halfway through the previous season. I've gotten up to there.
3, right? Or 2, whatever we're on.
I
3.
think we're
on 4. We're on 4.
We're on 4 because I'm halfway through season 3.
Yes. Okay.
And it's just hysterical. I mean, it's like,
it's
oh
so
my God.
Good. Season 3 is
Guillermo. Where's he, Guillermo?
Yeah, Gizmo.
Gizmo.
It's so great. Season 3 ends. You're gonna be very shocked. You'll love it.
Okay.
But then besides that, Jay, I keep saying it on Twitter, and then I forget to mention it here, but I love Only Murders in the Building. And I
love that series. No, I've seen your tweet. We have tweeted. I love that show.
It's so good.
Steve Martin, though. Steve Martin. And I'm not a massive fan of Martin Short, but I love Martin Short and Steve Martin.
Together.
Well, I'm really glad Martin Short has started acting again.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope
he had a lot of yeah.
And he's good in most things. He does. I remember he did the Santa Claus 3 with Tim Allen, and he played Jack Frost. And he was Martin Short in it, but he was great. But I love. Did you ever watch the Netflix special with Martin Short and Steve Martin when they're just talking about how they've known each other for years, and they do some little comedy bits and things. And that was great. One bit was then he's doing. Steve Martin was the ventriloquist, and Martin Short was the dummy. And it's actually genuinely cry funny. But the best bits they were talking about how they met and stuff, like they were doing the Three Amigos. And they're there with Chevy Chase, and neither of them particularly like Chevy Chase.
You said
but
they were there
with
Selena Gomez? I'm kidding.
Yeah, and Selena Gomez. And they were playing poker with Chevy Chase, and and Steve Martin was dealing, and Steve Martin and Martin Short slipped him a note, and it was, if you deal me in 8 of spades, you can fuck my wife. And it was just like, and that was, from then Steve Martin just read it and just went, "We're friends now."
We're friends now.
And they just loved each other. And he says, we've just loved each other ever since. I've just been best friends ever since. And I just love that. Give me an 8 and you can have my wife. But you know, I together, like I say, I'm not a huge fan of Steve Martin on his own, to be honest, but those two together are just gold. But yeah, I really enjoy that series.
I like him whenever he's by himself, but he can get too campy sometimes. The second Martin Short's with him, it's phenomenal.
It just works, doesn't it? It just works. I wish they'd done more stuff together over the years, really.
I'm sure they will, I guess, now that this is coming back. And the fact that they did this, and it's already, well, since season 1, it's been, I don't know if it's the #1 TV show or what, but it's been very prominent since it's been out, which has been great. It's been great.
Andrew just asked a question. I will answer quickly, Andrew. Probably not, because I've been banned on the machine. I had another channel, I think it was called The Machine, and we did live videos, and we talk about conspiracies and mysteries and all this sort of thing. Okay. And I did a video 2 years ago talking about the 9/11 and stuff, and we got banned for hate speech. So I watched the video that I got banned for, and I still don't. It's not hate speech, but my pal who I did videos with is a very conspiracy nut. I'm going to go with nut. I love him dearly, but he actually believes everything he reads. He once saw a show that said about how mermaids were real, and because he wasn't really watching it, thought it was true. I was telling me how mermaids are real. No, they're not. Yeah, they are. I saw it. It was on Animal Planet.
It was on Animal Planet.
Weirdly, though, he was right. The show was on Animal Planet. But they got the Animal Planet. Google it, Animal Planet mermaids. They got in loads of trouble for it, and they got fined and all sorts. But they did this like mockumentary. But he wasn't really wants to be believed. But anyway, so he kept bringing up these things that were a bit far
out there for YouTube.
And YouTube banned us for it. So at the moment, I am still banned on the machine.
You may have just gotten banned because of him. I mean, there's lots. I do know YouTube. If someone's got a lot of complaints, you know, and they can voice match the guy that's really bad with another channel, they will ban both of them.
Yeah. So let's hope this channel doesn't get banned.
Yeah, because you got me on there, bro. I keep telling you're on thin ice with me. Jesus, and I'm in the center of the screen. What the hell's wrong with you?
I'm not far behind. I broke both rules last week.
Uh-oh.
Yep. C word, and I forgot the other rule. That's already bad. I'll break it again at some point.
Well, no, you said COVID, and then you poked the bear. So
see, I didn't break it this week. This time.
No.
I poked the bear. That's the other rule. That's right.
Don't poke the bear. Don't sex me off.
He doesn't want you to poke the bear because it's 3 after 9, and he's got to go watch his soccer stuff.
Oh yeah, football. There we go. I knew it was coming.
So now you've set me off. I'm recording it. It's okay. So we're all good. But I do want to go watch the Mighty Lionesses do something that the men can't do.
It's Mighty Lionesses
win a goddamn tournament.
So the men like get beat by whales, and isn't Wales full of the Welsh? Wasn't that a thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised they got away from it.
We didn't want to talk about that a lot because Wales, I think.
Yeah, we did get beat by Wales. We're playing actually the old enemy. The Lionesses are taking on Germany.
Yeah.
So, Matt summed it up in one line in chat.
Spoiler: they kick ball because it's called football, and I can't get past this point enough. You use your feet.
So I did not know this about Stargate, but apparently the Yorkshire Geek says the Ori created COVID-19. I did not know that.
Don't say the C word.
Well,
you will get us banned.
One of 3 of us is good today.
I guess I did. I missed that part in the Doctrine. I don't think it was mentioned much in Doctrine.
They created the plague that wiped out all of humanity in the Milky Way galaxy. COVID-19. Yeah. That was COVID, whatever 50 million years ago was.
50.
The first one.
COVID 50 million BC. But thank you very much, guys. Oh, I didn't tell you what I've watched this week.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
I've been really busy. I watched The Grey Man with Ken from the new Barbie movie. Ryan Gosling, thank you. They did joke at one point. They do go, "Will somebody just kill this Ken doll?" I was like, I got like that. It's like a little dig.
Chris Evans saying that was great.
You're playing Ken. It's really, really good. I enjoyed it. It's like Netflix.
You enjoyed it?
Expensive movie. It's good. Grey Man's great. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, my girlfriend watched that this week and she just loved it.
Yeah, no, it's great, man. Go watch it if you get a chance. Every so often I'd be distracted by something. The wife would say something, I'd look back and goes, "Oh, who's he beating up now?" And it's sort of like it was. I have to rewind this now. It is just the fight scene after fight scene after fight scene. But if you're not concentrating, you've no idea who's kicking. Kicking somebody, I don't know why. But no, it's great. It's one of those films you've definitely. I think I'm gonna have to watch it again. But
it's great.
In America, he's not very nice.
That mustache.
Yeah, that is so on purpose. That's the sign as well. Sometimes of a good actor, and just go, I think this guy should have a really shitty mustache, and you go, yeah, he should. It works. It's just glorious. Absolutely,
I love
glorious.
at the premiere. Ryan Gosling called it a trash stash in an interview or something, and an interviewer says, "So you talked about Chris Evans' stash earlier. Do you still think it's a trash stash?" And he said, "I'm standing by it," and just kept walking, and it was great.
Yeah,
I was at that premiere too, so that was fun.
Yeah, but I don't think. Oh, were you? That's amazing.
Yeah. Go sit down, my cousin and I, down like the row H in the Chinese theater. It was so much fun.
That is amazing. That is cool. So you get to throw popcorn at Ryan Gosling?
No, I was a little stoned. I might have been eating a bunch of popcorn at the time.
Yeah, too many carbs.
Oops.
I'd love to do that. That'd be amazing. What an amazing thing to be able to do. Especially seeing something actually like good like that. I mean, for me, it'd be like if there's a new Star Trek movie or something, not the JJ.
Yeah.
That would be so cool to be able to go to like a big red
carpet. Sign up online and fast enough, and it's free.
Cool. I'm gonna have to do that. It won't be free for me. I got to fly to America as well. But
that would be a little pricey.
I could go to the London premiere of something. That'd be cool. We got a big Odeon down here that was pretty good. Cool. But yeah, other than that, I've just been watching Stargate because I want to do the series 3 preview. I'm reviewing each series, but I've realised it's so long since I've watched them. I need to watch them again, so it's taking me forever. But oh well, I intend doing this channel for a little while. But before you two vamos, we do have to say that next week is the channel's first birthday. Sci-Trek is a year old.
Damn.
There will be cake.
Congratulations.
Oh my God. It's been a year?
I know. I can't believe it.
You've done a lot more than most people can do in a year. That's for sure.
Well, I haven't done a great deal other than talk crap at a camera. I tell you what, I've gone through about 4 different microphones trying to get a microphone that works. I've got one now, so that's good.
Good.
I watched my very first video not long ago. Shit, man. It's only 12 months and Jesus, I wasn't very good. But anyway. But we've been going a year. The next year there will be cake. So Saturday at 6, me, Stormy, and Spencer, it was us 3 talking that made the channel happen. I wouldn't have done it else. Are going to have a video, and Spencer has promised. Now, Harris, you're not going to have a clue what this is about, but I will send you a clip later.
Okay.
Spencer has promised not to write on himself with any permanent markers.
Yes.
And not to fall asleep on screen.
What, did he fall asleep or did he pass out because of intoxication? I'm pretty sure he passed clean out.
You passed clean out. There's a video, and Stormy wanders off, and I'm talking to Spencer. And I'll send you the clip to the I think I called it "Why We Love Spencer" video. I just edited the bits together, and he literally you just see.
Just sitting. Yeah,
I love it.
Does he fall off the chair at one point?
He did.
Might have fell off the chair.
Completely off. He heard the thud, and he was down for the count.
He was drinking red wine. He just got more and more drunk as the video went.
That'll do it. He wasn't wearing headphones or anything, huh?
No.
Good.
But,
while you're at it.
Honestly, mate, I will send you the link for the video in a minute. It's the funniest thing in the world. But Spence will be on the Saturday, and then Harris, Stormy. I don't know. Obviously, I appreciate you're busy. So if you only want to do the one video next weekend, I won't have any problem. But I might still go live Sunday, and we'll do like a Star Warsy chat.
Okay, I got to see what my weekend's shaping up for next week. Yeah.
Well, if you can do the Saturday, that would be amazing because
we got grandchildren.
Exactly.
And she's going to be a ball of jibber jabber. So I'm just not sure.
So you're bringing her on the stream?
No. There's a YouTube problem with no.
Yes. There will be beer on next week's video, Andrew. I've been told by Shelley. So, but yeah, Stormy, if you can do the Saturday, that would be absolutely phenomenal. Okay. But obviously, I know your time is precious. But we will figure something out for the Sunday if my wife lets me as well. That's the other point. So,
by the way, I've been scrolling trying to find. I did a search on YouTube for the machine. I think they've taken you completely out of the search results.
That would surprise me.
I mean, I can't find it. Even searching on the channel name, I can't find it.
I've been. I'm blocked. I cannot go live. I cannot upload videos. I might just delete the channel if I'm honest. Okay. If it's causing that much grief, and I don't think I'll be back on it. I don't think I'll be going back to that. So to be honest, if I'm honest, right, people get angry at me talking about fiction. Imagine how angry people get talking. How angry at me people get when I'm talking about like conspiracies and mysteries and things like that. People were threatening me, and I'm not joking.
Yeah, I mean, Americans are very sensitive about 9/11.
Yeah, yes. Not just 9/11. Everything, anything and everything. People get, and I don't want. No, you should get upset. You know, I thought on the whole we treated it. I tried so hard to treat it with a bit of respect.
I thought you did a good job, but I think the other guy was just. I can't remember your buddy's name, but I think I saw it once and I'm going, holy shit, how is this still? I really remember that. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, because some of them, particularly when we were live, you should have seen some of the videos we did and I had to edit stuff out. And I just had to edit it out and not tell him. Because some of the stuff he came out with was just, and I love him to death. He's one of my best friends. But some of the stuff, because he half hears things and he believes it and then he says it on a stream. I'm just like, you can't do that. If you haven't done the research, don't say it. I always think if I say something controversial, I've done the research and I can back it up. But it might be controversial. I will say things people don't like, but I will argue it. Yeah. He didn't always do that. But we tried to show it with a bit of respect. But the video that got banned wasn't even one of the worst ones. I'm like, Jesus, you need to watch a couple of the other ones.
Y'all missed these couple.
But yeah, I literally got people. One guy actually found out where I lived, and he sent me a message with my address, and he'd took a photo. He'd got a photo of my house, which I think he'd got off Google Earth. I hope, but I'm pretty sure it was off Google Earth. And he said, "I do know where you live." And I was just like, and that wasn't anything to do with 9/11. That was something to do with aliens or something. And I was like, maybe I'll stop doing this. But I love talking about things like that, and I love the debate. But some people are crazy, man. They're just crazy. Matt, people were upset by Matt. You have got twice the views I got on that video, so you win that. You win this round, sir. We're doing a video. He does a Tuesday video, and I do the Thursday video. And first week, I tranced him. I got so many more views than him, and I'm like, This week he's got like 1,000 more views than me. So,
it's good competition.
Yeah, it's a bit of fun. Yeah. I love machines. All four. So many laughs. Yeah, I miss talking to Dave. I'm going to try and get him on here, and I'll tell you what, we'll try to just do some videos because we don't have to always talk about sci-fi stuff on here. Stormy, if ever you want to we'll get Dave on, and we'll just talk about something else. Sometimes, I think, just for fun.
We could talk about woke shit.
What?
Please don't.
Oh, I found that woke Gunsmoke video. It is actually called The Q. Queue.
Oh, that's a coincidence. There's something about the Q and all that shit. Ooh, creepy. I did watch it. You sent me a link. I watched it. It was quite good. I quite enjoyed it. But anyway, I'm going to go watch the footy. Come on, you Lionesses. Come on, England. I hit the wrong side. Come on, England.
Is that a good sign or a bad sign?
I think he's having a heart attack.
No.
What do you call for emergency in England? Is it 999? Is that it?
Yeah, I don't know what the number is.
If it goes to penalties, I will have a freaking heart attack. So, because we always lose to Germany on penalties. So, you don't even know what a penalty is, do you? So, a penalty is at the end of the game. If somebody commits a foul right by the goalie, you get a penalty. Or if a game is 0-0 at the end and it's got to be decided, it goes to extra time, then it goes to penalties, and everybody has 5 penalties each. And we always lose. So if it goes to penalties, I will have a heart attack.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. But hopefully it won't.
Anyway. Go England today.
Yeah, go England. Go England Day.
Whatever it is.
Lionesses. Roar. Right. Thank you so much, Harris. There is a link to your channel and you're saying you have a new video out today.
Yeah, we've got a video we got to put out today, and then we got a live stream from our sci-fi guy on the channel itself later today. So check out MCube down here, wherever it is.
Okay.
Very cool. It's somewhere in there. Stormy, our resident American, you also have your channel linked in there. I remembered.
Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome. I did my job for once as the creator and the planner for once. Thank you guys so much for spending an hour of your Sunday and getting up nice and early and missing your breakfast to come on live. I really, really appreciate it. We will see you next week for our first birthday. Very exciting. Then hungover. Me and Harris, we might do something on Sunday. Let's see. We'll just talk crap and talk Star Wars. And then I'll sit there going, I don't like Star Wars. And you can just explain to me why I'm wrong. So
that I can do. I've had someone ask me the politics of Star Wars, and I think 3 hours later they were like, I think I get it now. And it was a full 3 hours, and I bless that person for letting me sit there for 3 hours. And
they were called stormtroopers, for God's sake. I mean, come on.
Yeah, the OG was a lot easier to explain than the prequels. I had to set up a lot with the prequels. By the time we were there, they were like, all right.
There is no politics in Star Wars.
No.
Bye.
See you.
Right, guys. Thank you so much.
Toodles.
See you next week, guys.
Toodles.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Come on, England.